Good morning and congratulations for taking the first step to solving your slow buddy blues. My name is Doug, retired U.S. Marine and two-time combat veteran turned entrepreneur at your service. Man, today's episode is 2022 year review. You don't want to miss this episode. It's just awesome. We're going to talk about a lot of stuff. I'm super stoked. This is the last show for 2022. We have done a lot of amazing things in 2022, and man, it's going to be awesome. So, hey, listen, if you got some friends or colleagues or coworkers that are suffering from slow money blues, tell them to hop on Facebook or YouTube and check out the show streaming live. If not, they can always catch it on the other side. Now, if you have any questions, just go to slowmoneyblues.com, click on Ask Doug, and submit your question on IG, Facebook, or Twitter using hashtag SlowMoneyBlues. What are we going to be talking about today? Well, yeah, we are talking about the 2022 year in review, but we're going to talk about 4 ways to achieve your goals in 2023. Man, I'm super stoked about the show. But as always, even though this is the year in review, did you do your homework from last week? And the only thing you were required to do was write down your greatest accomplishment. Let me be more specific. What was your greatest accomplishment for 2022? My greatest accomplishment for 2022 was actually entering into the crypto space. And man, I have been winning. I've received about 140% return on my investments and growing every day. So that was my greatest accomplishment because that was literally one of my goals for 2022. Now, if you didn't do it, you have an opportunity to do it now. Did you say your morning mantra? If not, let's say it together. Say, I, state your full name, take 100% responsibility and accountability for my decisions and actions. I refuse to blame others. If I do, I give away all of my power, authority, and power given to me by God. Now, I was already wired up, fired up, and ready to go because, man, we're closing out the year strong, and I'm even more fired up now. And also, did you listen to the sneak peek preview? We dropped it yesterday at 11 a.m. It was just a year in review. So we're just gonna blast off and have a great time in our show. But we have to pay the bills. So our sponsors that have been rocking with us since all of 2022 is Linky.com and BigNetDomain.com. So listen, if you're a mompreneur, dadpreneur, solopreneur, side hustler, or marketer, whatever it is that you do as a entrepreneur or business owner, you need to go and grab your Linky.com account. That's spelled Liinky. And this is the deal, right? You don't need a credit card. You get a full 7-day free trial offer with all the bells and whistles. If you want to see what one looks like, go to linky.com/slowmoneyblues. You will see our stuff there. You might even find yourself getting a bonus or enter into a contest. So go to linky.com right now, Liinky.com, and grab your free account. Now, it is 2022, but we're about to go into 2023. If you still have a digital dilemma, if you find yourself having a social media conundrum, well, what you want to do is you want to go over to bignetdomain.com, use promo code BIGNET, and you receive hosting free for 1 entire year if you purchase a domain name today. That is a standing offer. Big shout out to BigNet Domain. Now, listen, if you need email marketing, if you need e-commerce, if you need a website, if you need hosting, whether that's dedicated or virtual, cPanel, Direct Admin, or WordPress, go to bignetdomain.com and they got you on lock. Cannot make this up. Also, they're open 24 hours, 365. The only day I believe they're closed is Christmas. That just passed. So you can go there right now, call their number if you need any technical support, and they will walk you through the entire process. Make sure when you check out, use promo code BIGNET and you receive a savings upon checkout. Now, here's today's question. Man, I've been kind of going about 1,000,000 miles an hour because I'm hyped up today. Did you have an amazing 2022? Yes, no, or I want to do over. I had an amazing 2022, and man, if 2023 is anything like 2022, and I expect it to be way better, man, I think I'm gonna just go to the moon. Now, listen, most highly successful people live intentional, focused, and on purpose lives. They relentlessly assess themselves to see if they're measuring up to their own lofty goals and ambitions. Is that you? Because that certainly is me. Well, let's get personal. I have two confessions today. One, I am one of the people, and two, I did not even complete all of my 2022 lofty goals. But guess what? I achieved 75% of them. Now, this is the real question you have to ask yourself. Did you achieve your goals? And if you didn't, why didn't you achieve them? Well, let's go back up to talk about 4 ways to achieve all of your goals in 2023 and beyond. I cannot make this up. I cannot even stress this enough, but these are really 4 easy steps. Step 1, make a plan. Now, it's okay to ad hoc some things. It's okay sometimes to do things on the fly. But when it comes to building, launching, and growing your own personal freedom success system, you must have a plan. That plan must be very intentional, right? It must be very deliberate, because you are after something that most people don't want. If you have been rocking with me since 2020, you hear what I'm trying to tell you? Since 2020, I do everything on purpose and with intent, which means that I always have an agenda when I am pursuing and doing something. Now, when it comes to my freedom, that is non-negotiable, which means I have to have a plan. So that is step number 1 to achieving all of your goals, not only in 2023, not only personally or professionally, but in life in general. When I was in the military, you all know my story. I'm a retired Marine. I say it at the top of the show all the time, right? We had this thing called the 7 P's. Prior proper planning prevents piss poor performance, right? And so we had all of these different acronyms, and we had all of these different tools on how to develop a plan, and not only that, but how to execute the plan, and then also how to measure the plan. So that leads me right into number 2 of 4 ways to achieve your goals. 1, you have to execute the plan. I will tell you that on my entrepreneurial journey and my journey towards freedom, I remember, I mean, it had to be at least 15 years ago. I said, man, I need to know where my money's going, right? So I developed this thing called a FIN plan, which is just a short way for saying financial plan, right? It's a very, very simple tool. I developed it and put it in Excel. And what I did is I looked at it like from a business perspective. I looked at the overhead in life, right? Like, what are my expenses, right? And then I said, well, and then what is my revenue? What is my income? But if I told you that for many years, although I had captured all of the figures, I was not utilizing the actual financial plan. And because I wasn't using the plan, guess what? I was failing miserably. It wasn't that I wasn't making money. I just wasn't following the plan. You know, like the FIN plan was like my money map. And to some extent, it was my financial freedom map, but I wasn't following it. So like so many people, instead of being in the black every month, I was in the red every month. I was having cost overruns, headaches, heartaches, setbacks. But guess what? Somebody said, if you are willing to be bad enough, long enough, you will eventually get good. I finally developed the discipline. I can't make this up. Of actually utilizing the very plan that I created. And guess what? Every month, I know exactly where my money is going, from the revenue generated from my entrepreneur. And really, it's just such a good tool just overall to be able to capture your personal expenses, be able to capture your business expenses, and understand, hey, look, where can I tweak this? Where can I optimize it? But listen, if you don't make a plan, you don't execute a plan, it's going to be impossible for you to do step number 3, to measure the plan. Well, actually, that might not be entirely true, because let's say you have a plan, right? And let's just say you want a plan to, let's say, very simple. Let's not even talk about money. I plan to drive from say, Virginia to California. That's the plan, right? But I never say when I'm supposed to leave and when I'm supposed to arrive, right? Which means it's going to be nearly impossible for me to measure that, right? I can measure from a perspective of, hey, did I do it or did not do it? But actually measuring it because it has some KYPs, right? Some KIPs. It's key improvement something, but most people know what I'm talking about. We start talking about these KIPs. So the idea is that whenever you have a plan, you want to be able to measure your plan, which means if it's very specific, you're going to have like some milestones. You're going to have some objectives along the way. Like you say, hey, look, here, for example, let's get back to business now. Well, let's get talking about our freedom again. Say in Q1 over last year, I made 100 grand. In Q1 of 2023, I would like to make, I want to plus it up by 50% or 100%. So I want to make 150K or 200K. You understand what I'm saying? So now is you can measure it. You can measure it day over day, week over week, month over month, or even quarter over quarter. But the idea is that you actually have a plan, right? And now because you have key metrics in there, right? Or objectives in there, right? You can measure to see, hey, how well am I doing? And obviously that's if all things remain constant. You know, the price of something go up where maybe I have to raise my price point on my product or my service to achieve that, you know, that 50% or 100% increase in margin or profitability. Now, the last and final step of 4 ways to achieve your goals, not only in 2023 and beyond, but in your personal, professional life. You must optimize your plan. Now, why do you have to optimize your plan? Because things change. Here's one of the things I tell you, man, when I got my degree in business, I learned a lot of stuff. I thought I knew a lot of stuff, but they gave me some really good tools. And there's this thing called a pest. And a pest basically is when you have politics that gets involved, like laws get passed, right? You have locally elected officials that pass laws that may impact your particular business that you're in, right? Then you have the economy. Right now, we've been experiencing this thing called inflation. And now you have the Federal Reserve, and they've been raising interest rates, right, to try to cool it off so that guess what? The economy can stabilize. And then you have the social part of it too. And the T, don't, you know, for all of you people out there, academia, I forget those last two, but really the political and economic, that can really affect your business. Laws can be passed. In fact, if I remember correctly, the 2017, I believe, tax legislation that was passed, it was very, very temporary, right? And I believe it expired and it's up now in 2023. So guess what? Now we're going back to 2016 tax levels. Unless, of course, the new administration has passed something. But I think it's actually fallen. I think it's gone back because that was not a permanent law. But you understand what I'm saying. And this is why you have to optimize your plan, because things change which are out of your control. And the only thing you have to do, so I'm saying optimize. Another good word also is to be able to pivot. And if you cannot pivot, when that pressure comes, your pipes are going to bust, okay? Which is why you have a plan. And in your plan, hopefully you have contingencies. If this happens, right, then I do that. If this happens, I do that. This is why having a plan, executing the plan, and being able to measure the plan, and optimize the plan gives you absolute 100% success in achieving your goals in 2023. So what are the major takeaways? Well, thank you so much for asking, because that is a great question. Goals are you measuring your greatness. I'm going to say that again, because I know you've never heard this before, because until I actually thought about that for a minute, I was like, goals are, and other people have just decided what goals are. But for Doug, goals is me measuring my greatness. Now, what is your homework for this week? As we get ready to cross over and go into 2023. I can't wait, because next Tuesday, it'll be the first show of 2023. I don't even know what I'm going to talk about just yet. I don't know how I want to kind of blast off, but I think it's going to be something really, really cool. So you guys definitely want to tune in. Homework. Execute the 7 Ps from episode 201, COVID-19. Man, I can't believe that's like when we first got into the pandemic. But if I told you that those 7 Ps are timeless and they'll work 100% of the time, you should believe me. Take that to the bank. So what did we talk about today? Well, we talked about the year in review. Well, let me do some quick recaps. So one of the things that I challenged myself to do And this has nothing to do with 2022. I'm just telling you about some things. One of the things I challenged myself to do is to double my investment income. I told you guys I actually did that, right? I actually get 100%, 140% now return on my investment. And guess what? I didn't get into the crypto space until, you might as well say, May. And I already flipped my investment income into crypto. Unbelievable. And it's great. It's awesome. I'm going to do another episode, I'm quite sure, about probably just a masterclass on crypto, because I've never seen anybody teach it like this. So it's hard for people to understand, which means people don't understand stuff. Guess what? They don't want to get into it. But I'm trying to tell you that you definitely want to get into crypto space. Crypto is going nowhere. It's here to stay forever. So I said I wanted to invest more, which I did, and I wanted to earn more. I absolutely positively did that. Then there's some goals on here, and I'm looking here literally over here at my account. I'm like, I haven't done those things. I haven't done that. But I did complete 75% of my goals. And guess what? We're going to be doing some great stuff. I think one of the shows that I think that I'm going to be talking about in 2023 is about automated artificial intelligence, or really how to automate information that generates you more freedom, right? If you can put systems in place like that, it's going to be awesome. It's going to be epic. So those probably will be set up, and they'll probably be recorded and automated so people can look at them anytime and anywhere. I'm super excited to say my team and I, we're developing another podcast. We're going to release that in 2023. We'll probably be dropping a couple of episodes every week. I'm super excited about that. That's going to be epic. It's going to be awesome. One of the things I did challenge myself to do, like I think in season 4, because if you know, we have 2 seasons every calendar year. So one of the things that we want to do in 2023, or one of the things we did in 2022, was I challenged myself to write an episode, and I went through the entire alphabet. I was like, man, that was like kind of a major accomplishment, right? We'll probably be doing a little bit more outsourcing and stuff like that coming up in 2023 because things are growing. So that's a good thing. And I'm just super stoked about 2023. But 2022 has been an amazing year. Of course, we're going to finish it off with a bang. I'm just excited, man. I'm excited about the future. I'm excited about all of our fans and listeners over in France and America and all around the country. I'm so grateful about all of the awesome ratings that we receive for our podcast. By the way, you can listen to our podcast wherever podcasts are heard. We're like on almost every major platform that's out there. You can listen to us on iHeartRadio, Spotify, just anywhere you can listen to podcasts, Google, Amazon, we're everywhere. So if you are suffering from so many blues, you definitely want to tune in each and every Tuesday. Now, tell anyone that you know that suffer from SMB to tune in each Tuesday from 9:30 to 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. You can follow, like, and share us at Slow Money Blues on all social media. Also, join our private Facebook group. There's some goodies that are out there. Until next time, I want you to build, launch, and grow your own personal freedom success system. And I won't see you at the top, but I will see you over the top. And if all things remain constant, I will see you in 2023. Have an amazing weekend and bring in 2023 with a bang. Bye.